Well, hi, this is Custom Works, and I'm Clint Allen. On our previous video of nose in the wintertime on your 7.3, had a couple people ask if we could get more in depth into the engine heater, and here we are. In the process of the last couple weeks, you know, you'd swear your phone is spying on you, and of course pops up on YouTube several videos of what I'm going to explain to you, but explain to you properly. One of the videos was two brothers, I believe, working out in the snow on the ground with electricity, hooking up their electric extension cord to the cord that leads to the heater, testing it that way. Please do not do this. It is nothing more than playing Russian roulette with your life. If you're laying down underneath the truck and it's wet, you could get shocked and you could die. So let's do this the proper way. The engine heater is part of your assembly for the oil cooler and the oil filter. That's where it is. Now it's pretty simple, pretty basic. All we've got is a heating element right here, and we've got a simple cord system right here. Now some of you are going to have a screw-on plug, and then some of you are going to have, which is on this truck right here, which is just a simple pull-off unit with two little clamps. And that's what that looks like right there. Either which way, they both do the same thing, that's just holding on in a different way. This nut right here generally is about 1.25 inches, a sloppy 1.25 inches. But if you want to use an adjustable, you know, this is just nothing fancy. It's just a matter of breaking it loose and screwing it off. But let's test this cord first. So this element right here very rarely burns out. Not impossible, but just very rarely ever burns out. Most of the time the problem is going to be in the cord, and the problem that you're going to run into is usually right here. Just from that constant heat from the heater, that inside here, it's just going to lose its connection, or right here on the blades, those are going to become overheated, worn, even have scale buildup, burning buildup on here. And that's basically where the issue is. But occasionally, sometimes you lose contact. And if you lose contact right here, this test is going to tell you where the problem is. And you'll just, if you're losing contact right here, then if you just go through and clean the inside of the element with, like I previously showed, some mass airflow cleaner, spray that out, then come back with some Deoxit 5, spray that in there, clean it on out, and that'll get rid of any type of buildup that's sitting inside, and then this will make contact again. But let's get on with testing this. Basically, let's get out a battery charger, put it on the lowest amperage, 12 volts, hook it up to the cord, and there we go. Now we know that the cord is good. Let's turn that off. And let's go ahead and test the element. The element is going to be done in ohms. So flip her on over to your ohms. And right inside here, just go ahead and put your probes on here. And what we're looking for is anywhere from 15 to 20. And in this particular case, we're testing out at 16. So in this particular case, this element was good. So let's say if this element went bad on you right here, then basically you just unscrew this element from the housing, and that's 1 1/8 inch. Now, 2 ways of doing this. Now, when I do this, I do it on a lift, so it's really easy for me to do it. You're laying underneath a truck, and it might be a bit of a bitch to do it. But you can drain the radiator down and remove it, and you're still going to end up getting some antifreeze coming out of here, but not a whole lot. Or like I said, when I do it on a lift, I just go through, loosen that up to the point where it's almost ready to come out, and then I just, you know, then of course I just go and pull the old one out and then slide the new one back in and start turning it in. You can choose, doesn't really make a difference to me. You know, I've got a lot of advice on things that definitely do not do. This right here, just, you know, choose which way you want to go. Either way, you're going to get antifreeze on you. This is like a gas pipe thread, so you don't really need to put any type of sealer on it. As it turns in, this right here works as a wedge, and it gets larger and it tightens itself up and seals itself as you screw it into the housing. When you get a brand new one, it's going to come with some sealer thread on it anyways, but I'm just letting you know that is the way this works. It's like a V, just gets tighter. The whole concept here is that you just don't want to go to town and over tighten it and bust the housing. When she starts getting snug, just stop. If you find out, you know, a few months later on that you were just being a little too cautious, you just come back in with the wrench and just give her a little bit of a turn. You'll be just fine, doesn't make a difference. So, advice on replacing the plug. It's normally a knee-jerk reaction just to cut the plug off here and put a new end on, and that's fine. I'm going to suggest to you, and it really doesn't make a difference who you get the new wiring plug from. I'm just suggesting to you it's just better off go get yourself a new one. What happens over time, and everybody, even the experienced people, know that if I put a new plug on here, it's going to handle the problem. I've tested it. I know the plug didn't work. Put a new plug on there, but the wiring that's sitting inside has gotten oxidized over time, so it's not going to heat to the heat level with brand new wiring. The old wiring itself is going to allow it to conduct the power, but the heating element itself is not going to have the power that it should because the copper wire inside here is all oxidized. So do yourself a favor. These are cheap. Just go and get yourself a brand new one and install it. For the short term, yeah, just throw a different plug on the end because, like I said, this is normally where you're going to have the issue right here. So if you're going to replace the whole cord, keep in mind that this runs down the frame right here. Has a couple clips. Now there's a reason why they put all of that covering and that conduit on there. What we don't want to do is just slap the wire in there, We're all done. Time for a foamy treat. Make sure you put all of the coverings back on. Nice new electric tape. Get all the connectors put back to where they're supposed to be. Get everything reinstalled properly, just like the factory wanted it. There's an engineer out there that thought this through and said, hey, if we don't do this, we could end up having a fire or arcing out. So make sure you go ahead and reinstall all the coverings. Now, if somebody before you did this, then run down to your automotive store and get yourself some covering and make sure you get it all loomed back up and installed where it's supposed to be. Now, if you find yourself testing this and it works, and then you test the element itself and it comes in at 15 to 20 ohms, and you're like, well, geez, you know, maybe it's the extension cord. You test your extension cord by plugging something into it, and that works, and you come out the following morning to a unheated engine. This right here could be cracked on the inside, and just by laying it a different way when you plug it in causes the contact to go away. So keep that in mind also. So I hope you've learned something today, and you take it easy and you have a good day. You're still here yet? It's over. Oh, I know. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, the little bell, you know, the little bell, and that'll tell you every time I post a new video. Also go root around in my previous videos and you'll find a lot of interesting content. Until then, go home. Oh yeah, the garbage can's over there. You know, don't be making a mess. You know, clean up after yourself. Go, go.